Don't mind me just running a couple errands here on an off day. But wanted to very briefly touch on something interesting about my business, and that's how I got the name. And really it came from Big Red. Big Red is that truck right there. And I named it for Big Red. But the question is why? Well, simply put, at the time it was kind of a bit of a joke, to be honest. I did not have I was kind of wrapping my head around what to name my business, and I didn't have anything concrete like that I liked. I was like, well, I could just call it Knowles something, I could use my name. I was like, I don't really want to do that. I want something more, it sounds more professional. I want something that sounds more official. Anybody can just take their name and make, Jason's Lawn Care or Knowles Lawn Care or something like that. Anybody can take that and do that. I wanted something more unique and more me and more official. So I thought, well, it seemed like everybody has something green related, like the shade of green or green acres or green this, or it was always green something or other. And I was like, I don't really want green. I don't really want to use the color green. It's so overused in the lawn care and landscaping industry, Southern Botanical, the Green Standard, and all these names, that have to do with green. And I didn't want that. So I was kind of stuck. I went back and forth for several weeks. I kind of thought about what I wanted to name it, and I didn't have any good foundations. I didn't have any good names picked out that I could think of, and I was kind of at my wit's end a little bit when it comes to naming. And I think it was a Sunday morning. This would have been like it would have been like mid 2017, something like that. Maybe early 2018. I'm pretty sure it was mid to late 2017 though that I came up with this. That I just thought this up. So we were sitting around the breakfast table. I think it was a Sunday morning, my wife and I was kind of just, we were talking about names for businesses and everything. And I think I just kind of jokingly, like in a casual joking sense, I was just kind of like, well, if I don't come up with anything else, I can always use Big Red, and I kind of laughed it off. But I got to thinking about it, and I thought about it a little more, and I was like, well, that's not a bad idea, actually. Big Red, Big Red is the truck that I'm going to be using in a lot of my business. A lot of my business is going to be spearheaded by this old truck that I've named Big Red. And, this name is not necessarily 100% synonymous with lawn care. Like if you listen to this, a lot of people use the green and all that, or grass, something related to green or grass and everything. Big Red, the name Big Red isn't necessarily, like, it makes people wonder what exactly it's all about. They want to know kind of more about it. It kind of gives people the idea that they want to know more. They haven't just heard everything there is to hear. If you say green something or other, sometimes people just know what you're all about. But if you say you're working for Big Red Services LLC, people will be like, oh, what is that? What does that mean? So it kind of gives you that sense of, it gives you an in with some people to explain kind of what your name is and how you do things. And so the more I thought about it, it just made sense. And I didn't have really any other names picked out. So when I went to, I ended up going to an attorney, and there are multiple ways you can set up an LLC. There are some ways that are cheap. Like you can go to LegalZoom, for example, and do it all online and pay a small fee. And the reason I went to an attorney to set up mine, I went to an attorney, a business law firm here in Dallas, is the reason I went to an attorney was to have some extra layers of protection just in case there was another company around that had that name already trademarked. So I went to them and I paid them a little bit extra money to basically do research, so that when you meet with somebody like that, their attorneys we'll do research and find out if there's anyone else in the area that has that name or a similar enough name to where you might have a problem. And in my sense, there wasn't. And the two things people really think about with Big Red are that you tell people to are like the soda. Like Big Red is a soda. I think Dr. Pepper manufactures it. I don't know, PepsiCo, something like that. I don't know offhand, but Big Red is a soda. And then of course, sometimes I've had a few times where people have been like, oh, when you say Big Red is your business, oh, you went to, they say, oh, you went to Nebraska. That's like, Nebraska Big Red. Apparently there's a school up in Nebraska that's their mascot is Big Red, which I didn't know that. But around here, everything was good. So my attorney, told me, hey, nobody else in Dallas has this. There's a company up in Oklahoma that is a Big Red Services. They sell like merchandise, like boutiques or something like that. So you're good. That has nothing to do with what you're doing. So that was what we did. We filled out the paperwork and got it all done and got registered, and I've kept it up ever since. So that's just a quick little story about how I got my name, how I came up with my business name, and little short condensed version of how I actually went about setting it up. So anyway, I'll do more when I have more time, but right now just a quick little update.